Okay, so in this video, I'm assuming that you've already made all the cuts that you need to make and arranged your cameras so you're changing from camera 1 to camera 2 to camera 3 as you need to. So once that edit has been made, what we can do is start to add the finishing touches. We've done the bulk of the work, but now we can look at things like making the colors look as nice as possible, making sure the audio is loud enough, etc. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use something called um, Lumetri color to make your images look as good as possible. The first thing you need to do though is create something called an adjustment layer. Now, how do you create an adjustment layer? It's very easy. You just need to come down to this um, box in your left hand corner, your import box, and you might need to drag it over a little bit because it probably looks something like this, and that will mean that you're missing a key button down here. So if you stretch this box over a little bit where all your clips are, you should see one that looks like a blank sheet of paper with a little fold in it, and when you click on that, one of your options is something called an adjustment layer. So you click on the blank page, you click on adjustment layer, some options like this will come up which you can just click OK on. You don't need to worry about any of them. And now we have this thing called an adjustment layer which we can drag onto the timeline. Now what the hell is an adjustment layer? Well, an adjustment layer is basically a completely blank layer, but we can add effects to it, and those effects will affect everything beneath it. So I'm using the minus key to zoom out a bit, and I'm making sure that my adjustment layer here goes over absolutely everything on this video. At the moment, that won't have made any change to the video whatsoever because we haven't added any effects to the adjustment layer. It's just a blank layer that's going to affect anything that is beneath it if I put an effect on it. So why make one in the first place? Well, I could go into each of these clips individually and add an effect, but then I'm going to have to do it lots and lots of times. I'm going to have to copy the effect and paste it onto the other clips. It's going to take ages. Whereas if I put everything onto the adjustment layer, then it's really nice and simple. Okay, so for effects, we need to come to the effects tab that you have. If you're on the latest version of Premiere, you can go up to the top right hand corner, roughly where I'm hovering now, and you've got an option to go through different workspaces. But I'm on a slightly older version, so I'm going to click on the effects tab here. And it's going to have a little bit of a think about it, always does when you're switching between workspaces. Sometimes manages to crash the computer altogether, but hopefully not this time. Perfect. So now I've got some effect options, and one of them down on the right side here is something called Lumetri color. So you can do a lot, and I mean a lot with Lumetri color, but I'm just going to show you some very basic stuff. I'm going to start by clicking on this basic correction button. I've got to make sure that my adjustment layer is actually highlighted, because if it's not, I'm not going to change anything. And with that layer highlighted, when I start to pull these sliders around, I'm going to see a massive difference happening. So a lot of these I'm not going to want to touch, but you can see straight away that all of these sliders could make a huge difference to the image. So I'm going to talk you through in the next video exactly what kind of changes to make, but obviously I've made this look totally terrible. So I'm going to end by clicking on this very useful button up here. Next to where it says FX Lumetri Color, I've got Reset Effect. So that's useful. In the next video, I'll talk you through how to actually make some changes that are going to make your video look better.